This is my 1989 Honda Civic DX hatchback. In this video, I'll be removing and installing the exhaust system. I've jacked the car up. I also put a block underneath here just in case the jack fails. I will begin with disassembling the exhaust system from down here, taking off the oxygen sensor, use a 1/2 inch. Instead of removing the rubber from this part of the hanger, I'm going to remove it from this part right here because the hanger over here on this side is shorter. Use various bars like this, or you can use like a crowbar to force the rubber off the hanger, which is coming off very nicely. So we got one side off, and then we've got to get the other side over here. It's starting to come off now, but I don't want this exhaust pipes to drop, so I just put a cardboard box over here, so when the exhaust system comes down, it's not going to drop too far. Okay, now it's being supported by the cardboard box. Now we just have two more hangers in the back. We've got this one I'm going to take off first, and there's the other one right here. Take the hanger off of the exhaust system because the angle of the hanger here is less than here. It's kind of difficult to get it off of that one. In order for me to remove the entire pipe, I have to split this because the muffler is hanging from the back. I disconnected the pipe right before the tire, as you saw. I have to fish this out between the control arms of the back tire. As you can see, I had the exhaust pipe supported by this box. I'm going to take the box away. There's 3 bolts holding the exhaust manifold to the down pipe here. So I'm going to put some penetrant oil here. Here you can see the 3 bolts holding the down pipe from the exhaust manifold. Here's the other one, and there's another one on the other side of the pipe here. Just take these 2 bolts off in order to take off the down pipe. I've got the entire exhaust pipes off now from the car. I've got a 12mm wrench. Didn't have too much difficulty taking the bolts off. I have to take the fan off. Since I'm going to be removing some connection on the electronics, positive ground off of the battery, I managed to pull out the fan, but what I had to do first was to take this off while it was down there. Made it easier to pull out because this was hitting against the air conditioning pipes here. Put it to the side, moving the throttle cable out of the way. Okay, so gotta pull this back a bit. I put some oil penetrant. This is the old oxygen sensor that was already on there. I'm gonna replace it with a newer one just to make sure I pass smog. Using the crescent wrench, I'm not able to remove the oxygen sensor because the crescent wrench is not getting a good grip onto the oxygen sensor. Therefore, I'm attaching the vice grips to the oxygen sensor. Use this for leverage. Get off of there. As you know, I wanted to go back to my original exhaust manifold instead of my aftermarket ones in order to pass smog. This is the newer one that I have. This one right here was originally on my car. The location of both of these, or the hangers, are the same. You notice the hangers line up where the catalytic converter is. They're at the same point. So instead of swapping out the entire exhaust system, I want to use the newer catalytic converter and the piping here, and also the muffler of my newer system. The old muffler is gone, so I would have to purchase a new muffler, which I don't want to do. So I'm just going to use the aftermarket one that I have because it's going to fit just fine. Installation will be basically the same but in reverse as how I took it off. I position the exhaust pipes on some wooden blocks back here. There's the hanger that I'm going to put on, and also the front part of the exhaust system I've supported and lifted up higher to get it into position. Okay, got it on. Alright, that's on. I'm going to put this washer in. I'm going to grease the nuts here a little bit. Installing the oxygen sensor to the exhaust manifold. The exhaust manifold has been mounted. I'll just put it on snug. I have my torque wrench. The torque for this is about 25 pounds. I torqued it to 25 pounds. Definitely do not want to over torque it because this is an aluminum block and you can easily strip this. For the manifold brackets, Same thing here, since it's attaching to aluminum block. No more than 25 pounds here also. Now we're going to connect this down pipe, and we purchased this gasket for about $6, and we're going to put this on here. This is a new gasket, and then we're going to bolt it on to the exhaust manifold. Since I'm down here and I have the downpipe off, I took the time to wipe off the old oil and tighten all of these nuts on the oil pan. I've got the two nuts on from here, and on the other side over here, bolts come down from the exhaust manifold. Now I'm going to put this bolt in this one. You thread it into the manifold right over here. I'm going to first tighten these bolts and torque it between the exhaust manifold and the downpipe first, before I tighten the bolts on the brackets of the downpipe. We're torquing the exhaust bolts to 25 pounds. I had to use a crowbar to position the downpipe and put it onto these connector bolts right here, and also back here. I had to position it onto this bracket. For these brackets, I just hand tighten. Here's the other bracket. Just hand tighten it. On the exhaust pipe bolts and nuts, we'll put some anti-seize. We gradually tighten these nuts. Alternatively, we will torque these bolts to about 25 pounds. Next, I'm going to put the fan back into position. It's very difficult to see, but the fan clips right in to the radiator over here on this side, and there's another clip like this at the bottom. You attach the fan to the radiator top with these two bolts here. Just want to hand tighten it, not too hard. Attaching this electronic device associated with the fan to the holder. Have to put the throttle cable back on over the valve cover. Hand tighten it, not too hard, because this is aluminum. We put the negative cable back on. The final thing that I'm going to do is connect the oxygen sensor